Alright, so if you've been following my channel for any amount of time, especially in Diablo 3, you've seen that I was kind of an advocate for support characters, especially if you have not run a 150 or if you were not doing end-game content over in Diablo 3. I kind of advocated for you to at least make a ZDH and get in the game and start doing 150s. So that kind of, after we played the Diablo 4 beta, I was kind of curious to myself. I said, Self, are we going to have supports in this game or is that going to be a thing of the past? So how about y'all? You got Hawg. I'm your Southern Diablo 4 resource. Thanks for stopping by. So yeah, what do you think? Are we going to see supports or are we not going to see supports? It's kind of a debate going on in my community right now, whether, well, not right this second, but, a little bit over the past, we've been talking about, are we going to see supports or not? And there's varying opinions. So I sat down and I looked at all the points. I kind of made me up, I got a little whiteboard over here, made me up some points about why we're probably not going to see them. And then a couple reasons, maybe we'll see a couple here and there. So let's check it out. So the first point, the game was nothing like Diablo 3. My first impressions, and you might disagree, and that's fine. Let me know in the comments if you do. But my first initial impressions were, man, this is a lot like Diablo 2. The dungeon density was a lot less. The playstyle was a lot more, I want to say tactical, I guess. I mean, you just moved on from small little blobs of monsters throughout the dungeon while completing objectives. Let me stop right here and say, of course, it was the beta, right? I do like to throw that disclaimer out. We did get just play the beta, so this is kind of just based on taste from the beta plus input from guys that played the closed end-game beta back in November. You're just not seeing that same kind of play style. So in Diablo 3, to do the end game, you had to have a Z Barbarian, which his Z means 0 damage. His job was to group and give everybody ignore pain, keep everybody alive. Then you had a ZDH, 0 damage Demon Hunter, and their job was to boost the party. So they brought 150% damage multiplier with Odyssey's End item. And after going through the data mine of all those leaked items that we saw, okay, there was no item like that, especially for the Rogue. The Rogue is just a pure offense tune in this game, is what it's looking like. There's nothing like that for them. There's really no item like that, unless I overlooked it. So if you know if there's an item, let me know in the comments. The only thing that I saw was for the Druid, there's a critical hit chance improvement for the party once you cast Blood Howl. Alright, so I do think we're going to see more of a Diablo 2 playstyle, whereas there were characters that brought buffs to the party. Okay, so you always had Barbarians, always had Warcry. He's always had some kind of shouts and war cries to affect the party. And we're going to see that again in Diablo 4. But I don't think that's necessarily going to mean that he's going to have to do 0 damage. I don't think he's going to be limited to that's all he can do is bring buffs. He's still going to wipe ass. I mean, he really is. I think everybody in the party, especially with the world boss, so how are you supposed to plan with other people, the 12 people in the world boss, if you can't communicate with them and you can't plan with them? You don't know who they are. They're just in the same instance. How are you supposed to coordinate having supports and all? It's not a raid. So, if we were doing raids and you could meet up and stuff, I would see where you could potentially need some supports, but I just don't think the playstyle is going to support that. I think everybody's going to have their own buffs they bring, and then everybody's going to do damage. There might be some characters that focus on single target. There might be some characters that focus on AoE and stuff like that, but as far as strictly support does 0 damage, I don't think so. Another reason I'm saying that is Blizzard's made it kind of clear. I mean, you can't really say clear with Blizzard, but they've insinuated, okay, how about that you are going to have to invest a lot of time, and it's almost like they want you to play one tune, because it's going to take 100 hours for you to level this bad boy. So for you to spend 100 hours leveling a support character, once you've already spent all that time leveling him to 100, I just don't see that being feasible. It was the same type deal with Diablo 2. You didn't level a character all the way to 99, which took forever. Forever. to get it there. You didn't do that just to make it be a support. It ran a damage build. So, again, just don't see anybody. Now, yeah, you can respec, right? But that's going to cost millions of gold, and you're probably not going to want to do that this early in the game. Now, maybe as the game gets established and we come into seasons and stuff, maybe we'll start seeing some variants of things. But I think as far as the game first starts and we first doing all that, I don't know. So another reason is the play your way philosophy that they have. The developers have stressed that over and over that this game is play however you want to play it. I don't know. There's always going to be a meta. They're trying not to make there be a meta, but there's always going to be one. But after seeing the extensive Paragon boards and all the nodes and all that stuff available, yeah, there's some damage mitigation on those boards, but they are majority for more damage. So everything is damage, damage, damage. I think everyone's really not going to have a problem doing damage. And I've kind of noticed that talking to different folks all over the community, regardless of the class they played, every class was powerful. Every class. So I think that's a good thing. I don't think that folks should have to be pigeonholed into playing one character that they don't want to play. I don't like Demon Hunter at all. It's not my favorite. Never has been. And for me to have to play ZDH, and be stuck playing a class that I don't like, I don't prefer, and a class that does 0 damage, I don't mind supporting, but that gets old and makes the game not fun after a while. So the play your own way is a really cool feature, I think, and kind of just eliminates the need. But on the other hand, okay, you can argue, well, play your way, you could actually have a support if you needed one or if you wanted one. And that's very true as well. And kind of my last point, as to why we're probably not going to see them right away, is the Nightmare Dungeons. You can view the affixes on there. You can see what you're fixing to get into. You know what map you're fixing to open up. You know what that challenge is going to be like based on what affixes are on that dungeon. So you don't necessarily have to fish anymore. That was one thing you did in Diablo 3. By fish, I mean open and close greater rifts over and over till you actually got one that you wanted. You can actually see that now. I don't think that you're going to have certain characters to do that with. You might, but you can just skip that. You know, if you get one that says, "Hey, this one's got shadow damage," and you hate shadow stuff, you don't have to do it. You can just salvage it or sell it or do whatever, and put those points to the next Nightmare Dungeon or Sigil or whatever. Okay. Now, just to play devil's advocate, okay, because I don't want to just give one side. Now, I really don't think we're going to see them right away. But to play devil's advocate, okay, you can play the game your own way. So you could potentially build one. If that's exactly what you wanted to do. That's fine. The Druid actually does have, I have sat down and made a full support Druid build. It is nasty. It does have every aspect. It's kind of all in one. Okay, so it's a ZDH and a Z-Barb in one. It's got the damage reduction, okay? It's got the damage boost in the form of like I said earlier, the Blood Howl. When you hit Blood Howl, your critical strike damages or your critical strike chance is increased. I believe it's by up to 15% if you put it on an amulet. So that's huge right there too. So you bring damage reduction and damage increased damage, okay? So you can build that, and then I have messed around with Barbarian and seen folks make a support Barbarian. He does have a pulling effect. He does have ground stomp still. He does have the shouts. Only 2 of them affect the party. Not all the things that we're used to, the way they acted in Diablo 3, act the same as they do in Diablo 4, so you have to pay attention to that. But either way, you know, we'll see what happens. The game's not out. This is all just speculation, but it's just something I wanted to address. Not seeing a lot of people talk about it either, but do you think we're going to see them or not? I don't know. I don't think so. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. We are recruiting for Plebs for Life. It's my clan. It filled up like almost instantaneously when we opened it for the beta in Diablo 4, so we're going to go ahead and open it up. The best way to get into that is join the Discord. Links in the description below for that. And there is a way to get a guaranteed spot in the clan, so check that out. If you got any questions, hit me up over there. Y'all, thanks so much for watching. Make sure to hit like and subscribe. We'll see you next time.